Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, Spanish Town man charged after ammunition and the police items found at house freed. A St. Catherine man who was overseeing a house where a quantity of ammunition and the police paraphernalia were found has been freed after a judge upheld a known case submission. Kevin Ricketts, 49, a landscaper of Garden Pen in Spanish Town, was acquitted on Wednesday in the gun court by Justice Vaughn Smith. The man's attorney, Dennis Hinson, argued that no reasonable inference could be drawn that her client had knowledge of the items found by the police. She also argued that there was no proof the items were police issued. The judge upheld the submission, freeing Ricketts. The court heard that on April 4, 2024, police personnel went to Ricketts' home and arrested him. He was taken to a premises on St. John's Road, also in Spanish Town, where a storeroom was searched and the 26 rounds of ammunition were found in a sock inside a file cabinet. A further search revealed a police belt, a police identification card, a police cap, and a combat boot. He was arrested and subsequently charged. The court heard that the man did not live at the premises and there was nothing tying him to the house. He had maintained that he was overseeing the premises for the owner who lives overseas. Prominent clergyman Al Miller launches political movement for nation unity. Prominent clergyman Reverend Al Miller has launched the Jamaica First movement, which he will be seeking to have registered as a political party to contest the general election. But Reverend Miller says if successful in the goal to establish a government of national unity, the party will only exist for a 5-year term. He says the decision to launch the movement comes after he wrote to the country's 2 main political parties to form a coalition, but did not receive formal expressions of interest. Speaking with the news on Friday morning, Reverend Miller disclosed that he met with one of the political parties to provide details on the proposal, but there was no commitment to an alliance.
We would have preferred a natural coalition of the existing parties if they would be open to it, in spite of the challenges. That has proven difficult. So hence, we have created, as we had said to the public at the beginning of the year, to establish a special purpose vehicle for 1 5-year term to be able to accomplish the goals, led by a team of coaches who will work with those who have the call and the commitment to put Jamaica first and to able to advance it. So hence, this is the special purpose vehicle. That piece of it is our next phase, but we first want to sell the vision, because what we are saying is we are open. Political parties who exist, if they committed to the principle of unity, can become a part. So in the next week or so, we will do whatever is necessary on that side. But currently, it's a vision and a call that we are making, and if our people are committed and want something new, then therefore we will do whatever is necessary.
Golden warns the PNP supporters against the political violence. People's National Party President Mark Golding has again called for party supporters not to engage in any form of political violence during the lead-up to the general election. Speaking at a mass meeting in St. Catherine on Wednesday night, Mr. Golding urged the supporters not to be intimidated by their opponents, but to keep the peace as the PNP is on the track to win the election.
So comrades, whenever them call it, whether Andrew want to call it or the Constitution going call it, we have a purpose for voting. We have a purpose for not allowing anybody to buy way out. We have a purpose for standing firm. If they want to try to truck any badness upon we, because we know where we are going and we're marching on to progress. And I want to repeat tonight, comrades, them have some little tactics that them want to use on us, where they're trying to pull down billboards and other things like flags and so on. Don't let them draw we out. Those things don't vote. So we don't need to retaliate for any foolishness. It is not worth it. It can only result in arms out. We are going to ease ourselves and say, see it there? Take sleep and mark dead. Come election day, X beside the head. It is the emancipatory spirit of this place why we will be eliminating the abuse of contract work, where employers have people on a string, rolling them over on short-term contracts so they don't accumulate certain rights and benefits, which the People's National Party and other stalwarts of the labor movement fought so hard to guarantee for our workers and are being denied them. The People's National Party is going to mash up that dolly house.
St. Catherine most dangerous parish for road users in April to June quarter, says ITA. The parish of St. Catherine was the most dangerous for road users between April and June, when 16 people perished while traversing the roads. Clarendon was a close second, with the central Jamaica parish recording 13 road fatalities during the second quarter. 10 road users perished in St. James, while St. Anne and St. Mary recorded 9 deaths each. Westmoreland and the Breadbasket parish of St. Elizabeth both saw 8 deaths. St. Andrew was next with 6 deaths, followed by Trelawney with 4. The safest parishes for road users between April and June were Portland and Manchester with 2 deaths each, and Hanover, St. Thomas and Kingston, which each saw 3 fatalities. The Island Traffic Authority says 95 people were killed in 85 fatal traffic crashes during the quarter. Meanwhile, the ITA is reporting that overall 229 people were killed in 198 fatal crashes up to Thursday, July 31. This represents an increase of 3% in fatalities and a 2% increase in fatal crashes when compared to the similar period in 2024. $3 million cash car deal sparks legal trouble for woman. A multi-million-dollar car purchase has landed a St. James woman in legal trouble, but she insists she did nothing wrong. Nadia Johnson appeared Wednesday in the St. James Parish Court, where she pleaded not guilty to the charge of entering into a cash transaction exceeding $1 million, a serious offense under Jamaica's anti-money laundering laws. The allegations are that about 6 a.m. on June 22, police who were searching for a stolen vehicle in the Cornwall Courts community stopped a white Toyota Voxy. The driver explained that the vehicle's documents were held by his mother, Johnson. Soon after, Johnson produced a sales receipt showing a transaction of more than $3 million. That set off alarms for the police, who informed her of the offense. Johnson's words were sharp and unmistakably, "I catch me bite enough to put in a juta." She was arrested and taken to a police station where she was charged. Meanwhile, the police are still trying to locate the car dealer behind the Vox's sale, a lead that has so far come up cold. In court Wednesday, Judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton asked, "Is the file complete?" The court clerk replied, "The file is complete based on my assessment. However, the Crown is asking for a case management date so that it can be reviewed." The judge set the matter for case management on September 24 and extended Johnson's bail. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.